Police Minister Bheki Cele and Gauteng Community Safety MEC Faith Mazibuko are expected to visit the home of the woman in Alexandra who was allegedly shot and killed by police earlier this week. Her name, Samantha Radebe. She was on her way home from work when the incident occurred. According to the police, officers were chasing a stolen vehicle when a shootout with suspects ensued. MASEGO RAHLAGA tracking that story for us now, and she's live this morning. Hello to you, MASEGO. What's the latest on this case, and what are police saying about the shooting?
Well, Gareth, we are still waiting for the police minister to come out. He's still inside speaking to, for instance, community leaders. He was also getting a briefing from the local police here at the police station in Alexandra. So we haven't really heard anything from them. We've seen them walking in and out of the actual premises, but they haven't spoken to us yet about what it is that they've discussed. We do know that later on they'll be going to see the family. That's the MEC of Community Safety, Faith Mazibuko, as well as the Minister Bheki Cele. They'll be going to the family's house. We also know that the funeral will be happening sometime next week, and a memorial service is being planned by the family. So an update on the minister and what what he has to say, or what the MEC has to say, will probably happen at around 10:30, we're hoping.
And we'll get back to you once that happens. Just remind viewers for us, MASEGO, this morning what we do know about the incident itself. I spoke to police earlier in the week after this happened. They weren't able to give much detail on how this actually played out. What have you been told?
Well, the police, when we called them last week Thursday, remember the incident happened on Wednesday, on the first day of school. When we called them last week Thursday evening and tried to speak to them on Friday, they usually don't comment to the media once the case has been taken by the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, and that's where it's at the moment. But just to give you some background on what happened on that Wednesday evening, it was around 6:30. The 29-year-old Samantha Radebe, a newlywed who was married only a month on that day that she died, had just returned from work. She had just gotten off a taxi. A shootout ensued. A lot of the witnesses we spoke to say that they heard 4 shots. A shootout ensued, and she was shot in the back, and she died instantly on the scene. Now, police are saying that they were, like you said earlier, that they were actually chasing suspects who were in a stolen vehicle, and a shootout ensued, and she was shot by mistake and another man injured. Contrary to that statement, a lot of the witnesses we spoke to say that the suspects who were in that vehicle actually surrendered and didn't have a gun. That's what they say. They say that the people who were shooting on that evening were actually the police. And also, Gareth, what was interesting, especially from the community members here, they mentioned a specific police officer who goes by the surname Khanyahu. He apparently has, this is not the first time that this has happened under his watch, where police officers shoot in Alexandra. And you can imagine Alexandra is quite a densely populated township, Gareth. It doesn't matter what time it is. There's a lot of people on the streets in Alexandra. And, you know, when you shoot and there's a shootout like that, usually people, you know, in Alexandra, when they protested to the police station on Thursday evening, they were saying, please, can the police be trained not to shoot when in Alexandra, because there's people on the streets, children, elderly women and men. And basically what the community is saying is that this specific police officer has done this before. There is a case that I covered, Gareth, about 2 weeks ago of Sizwe Mbogazi. He was also hit in the head by a stray bullet and died on the scene, and apparently you know, the same police officer is behind this killing, and the community believes that this man should not be a police officer anymore. He should go to jail.
That's a briefing we're expecting, or that update from the police around 10:30 this morning. We're back to you, I'm sure, for that. MASEGO RAHLAGA, for the moment, thank you very much. Many questions that are going to be put to the police about how they are managing a crime situation in Alexandria, especially when live fire is being used. The latest on that story for you here on eNCA.